see if we have any indications of human remains out here.
Have there been in this specific debris field?
There have.
Today marks 9 months since Hurricane Helene hit. I want to share an interview I recorded on December 1st, one that exposes the harsh reality for families with missing loved ones. It looked like a war zone or something out of a movie. I felt like I was walking through an apocalypse, but for those living through this, those experiencing loss and grief, this was the reality.
So start with your name.
I'm Danny Wolf, out here in Tennessee today in Western North Carolina. We've been running hot tents to everyone to keep them warm. And the weather you can see here, it's snowing, it's really damn cold, so we're trying to keep everyone warm. But today we're actually doing a search and recovery up in Tennessee. You can hear the excavators behind me. We've been running dogs, trying to see if we can find a person we're looking for to help their family get closure. I don't want to get too specific to get any more people coming out here. We've had a lot of looky-loos. We've had a lot of self-deployed, quote-unquote SAR teams coming out here that are not really doing a search. They're just taking pictures and then raising money for themselves. A lot of cadaver dogs that don't have the proper credentials have been out here. So the problem is that not only does that waste our time, but it gets the family's hopes up. It gets the county and emergency management don't want that out here anymore. So we're trying to keep it more organized. We're working directly with the family out here, and a lot of these folks just show up and do their own thing. And when they bring dogs out here that don't have the proper certs, it's a liability, both in criminal and civil matters. So one thing that a lot of us have been talking about is we want a national registry for cadaver dogs where you can look up the certs for every handler and try to push for some kind of standardization for licensing. And you got NASAR, NAPWADA, American Working Dog Association, all these different certifications you can have. But a lot of them, if they haven't deployed with an agency before and they're just coming out here on their own, we don't know what the quality of these dogs or the handlers is. So that's one thing that we're trying to get going as an initiative for national standardization on cadaver dogs. So we don't have anyone out here scamming families saying that they have a cadaver dog, raising a big GoFundMe off of someone else's heartache, and then coming out here wasting our damn time out here with a dog that isn't even a cadaver dog. So that's one thing that we've been trying to push for. You can see Lambros here, he's actually got his HRDs on site. Clearing this area out here on these debris piles, see if we have any indications of human remains out here.
Have there been in this specific debris field?
There have. So we've come out here to excavate in areas where those dogs have hit, quality dogs at least. And we're just racing against the weather. You know, we probably have maybe 2 weeks left that we can really be out here. And then after that, we'll have to pause until spring. And at that point, it becomes a very different type of search. It's going to be more of random people discovering remains at that point. You know, there'll only be bones left, and it'll be whatever gets flushed out in the spring when the water raises up. So we're just trying to get as much done as we can in the daylight in the next 2 weeks before it gets too cold and before we get a few feet of snow buried in the ground. You know, and the dogs are out here in the cold all day too.
And talk about the raft. That's interesting.
So one of the only ways sometimes that you can ferry the dog handlers down the river is in a raft. You can't get a john boat in this water, it's too shallow. And the whole topography of this river has changed since the flood. No one's been able to chart it yet.
Mainstream media is saying that there's only 200 deaths. What can you say about the body, what you think in terms of the body count? Or
I mean, you know, I don't really have any authority to speak on it in an official capacity whatsoever. I think if it was some crazy number like 1,000, we'd be finding a lot more people. I do think it's probably over 200 just because of all the undocumented folks, people hiking the AT, homeless. So I would say it's definitely more than 200, but I don't think it's in the thousands or anything like that. The math of that doesn't work out. We would have been finding more folks by now if that was the case.
And in this area, there was like houses that came from miles away.
Oh yeah, 10, 15, 20 miles away.
Wow. So the water was that powerful that it just
As you get down this river where it feeds into the lake, there's an area we call the stew pot. It's like a log jam, and it's just solid houses and logs all the way down to the bottom of the river, all the way across. You can't even see the water. And you can't even really search that effectively. It's just compressed all the way down. You can't get a diver in it. You can't get a boat in it.
There's people that will never be found.
They'll never be found, or they'll wash up on the banks, 5 years from now. And it's something that people in the media haven't really touched on just because they don't know. It's not just about bringing in closure, but if you don't make a recovery, they're stuck in probate court for 3 years. They can't get a life insurance payout.
That's true.
So there's a lot more to it than just trying to bring their family member home and get them closure. They can't move forward financially or any other way until they can get a death certificate.
What are your thoughts on FEMA? Do you think that they could be doing more?
I mean, I don't really want to get political. I try to focus on the mission. I think there are folks at FEMA that genuinely want to do good things and help people. I think the way that the organization's been managing funds and trying to go about doing their relief efforts out here is definitely less than outstanding. There's been plenty of areas we've been to where FEMA has not been there yet to survey damage. I've run into all kinds of folks that have had claims denied. Not many people have a good opinion of FEMA out here, and I think that the local population would be the best to speak on that than myself. I'm an outsider here as a volunteer, so I guess it would be kind of a thing that they should probably speak on more, but I haven't seen them out anywhere other than when I saw them in the EOC. I haven't run into them out here in the wild, in the community. And no one out here seems to have a very high opinion of them. I have heard rumors that they're afraid to come out here and assess damage and help people because they've, received threats. But everyone out here are some of the nicest people you run into. So I think that's just an excuse.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen these people out here. Like they're country, but they'll bring you into their house, give you sweet tea, make sure you're fed.
Southern hospitality.
Yeah. So the fact that FEMA is saying they're afraid for their own safety is just ridiculous. No one out here is going to hurt anyone at FEMA. We would love to have them out here actually doing something, actually helping the people.
And you came far away to volunteer. What
Pretty
made you
far.
come out here?
Saw the damage the first day and how bad it was. And I've done this before, not in the mountains. I'm used to doing it in Florida, right in the Gulf Coast, where we're used to that. It's every summer. So I had experience and the ability. I just figured, if you have the ability to do it and you don't, that's on you. I had the time and I had vacation days saved up, So a lot of people have things going on in their lives, marriage, work, I can understand that. But if you have the capability to be out here helping these people and you don't, I just don't understand that. Because they would do it for us. So I think we owe them that.
Mountain people stick together.
Yeah, I'm a different kind of mountain people, Wyoming. But yeah, we're all together on this out here. And the next time something happens in my backyard, they would be down there doing the same thing for me and my family and my community. I know they would. I don't know if FEMA would, Hopefully they'll figure out how to do a better job moving forward. I'd rather work with them to help people than against them.
All right, Sarah, what are you doing right now?
I am spotting, which basically just means I'm keeping an eye on the debris as it is dug through, pulled up, and then lowered over here. And we just keep an eye out for anything that would let us know if we were getting close to what we're looking for. And so as he drops it, I just watch it drop, and sometimes he'll spread it out if it was a big pile, just like that. And it just gives us a chance to look and see what kind of stuff is coming out of the soil, where they're at. And in this particular pile, at the point we've gotten to now, We're seeing flooring and interior decoration stuff that kind of looks like, I'm not even sure what that piece of metal is right there. It looks like an appliance of some kind. So we just keep an eye out, and if we see something, we kind of halt and we go and look around where it originated from, and we see if there's anything else like that in the area.
There's search and rescue dogs being flown in. They're on their way. Cadaver dogs. I mean, look at this debris field. It is just a jumbled mess of logs, mud, houses. They've recovered bodies from this area. There was a severed head that was found just a little ways down the river. Just horrifying. Walking through here, knowing that there could be body parts anywhere. What they were saying earlier is that they want to burn all this, but they can't, just because of the possibility of starting, a forest fire. It's dangerous to just burn all of this because it could spread into the woods. I mean, look at this. What an eerie sight to see this chair just right here. Look, there's a rug, people's clothing, this random chair, a photo album, I don't see any pictures of anyone, but gosh, look at this. It just goes on and on and on. On and on. This is something out of a horror movie. You can see that they already had an excavator go in here and dig around. But I mean, it's deadly. Look at this piece of metal right here. If the river could make this piece of metal turn into that, I mean, a human body just gets obliterated,
Chronicles of Olivia. Join and become a member for exclusive benefits, behind-the-scene insights, and personal stories I don't share anywhere else.